Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Clarence Park. We're doing to do it on the phone because the old camcorder's decided to stop working. And it's not the only thing that stopped working today. And 2-0 up at half time against the bottom side. But in the end, we're perhaps fortunate to get a point. 2-2 draw with Hungerford Town.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I mean, we've had two great chances at 2-1 to put the game probably beyond them at 3-1, but we didn't take them, and we've relied on Dean, especially in the second half, to make 3 or 4 really good saves to keep us in the game. And I warned at half time, you can't switch off in a game like this. I said that they've got nothing to lose. Everybody expects them to be relegated. Everybody expects them to just turn up and be rolled over, and we haven't reacted quick enough to that in the second half. We started the second half slow. We didn't move the ball quick enough, and people wanted too much time on the ball. And they were first to everything, and they got their reward with I thought it was a sloppy goal, the first goal they got. But then from then onwards, it was just one team in it, and I think we're fortunate to come away with at least a point today.
The 2 goals we got in the first half, both Jefferson and Louis, 2 fantastic strikes. But you mentioned in the second half, he had 2 chances in the space of about 30 seconds where it could have killed, or you'd imagine it would have killed them off.
Yeah, it would have been. As I said, the second one, I think he's done great because he's hit the target, he's got over the ball. It's not much more. The keeper's made a really good save. But the first one, he's done well again. It's just hitting the target. I think if he hits the target, that one, then it's just like that goes in. But unfortunately, it hasn't. And we're disappointed because of the way we've reacted to the second half today, and it's disappointing. The change room's disappointing. The change room's down because. I haven't seen that over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and that was disappointing in the second half today.
If you haven't seen it the last 6 weeks, you certainly didn't see it coming then, I guess.
Well, I did, funny enough, and it's easy to say that in hindsight, but I did warn us before the game, and certainly at half time I warned against complacency. I said before the game, discipline and complacency today will be our undoing, and I felt second half complacency set in, and it's really hard to change your mentality in terms of what you've done to where you've got to by switching off and trying to switch back on again. Doesn't happen in football, and as I say, I keep saying it, we've been fortunate to pick up a point today. The main thing, we didn't lose, which was important as well, but as I said at half time, complacency will be the one issue which will cause us a problem in the second half. I think we were complacent. I think people didn't do their jobs properly. We didn't work hard enough off the ball, and we didn't work hard enough on the ball, and we wasn't brave on the ball. I felt in the second half today, I felt we just kept smashing it up the pitch, and we've got to try and work our way through the thirds by passing the ball better than what we did. We did it okay in the first half, got our goals, though they still look very dangerous on the counter attack. I thought we looked comfortable, but it was about at half time about us not allowing the complacency to slip in. But I've said at half time that the complacency for me is set in after the second goal. I felt 15 minutes before half time we'd already got complacent. We started to give the ball away cheap, and we allowed them back into the game, which should have been done and dead and buried by then.
We lost David Noble through injury. Was that quite significant, do you think?
I think it would do, from the fact is that he wants the ball and he'll keep the ball for us, and obviously we kept giving the ball away cheap today, but I didn't think our shape was good in the end. Just been speaking to the players there that Taylor Miles was given some information when he went on. I don't think that's been passed on correctly. So they're all the things that we have to sit and discuss and understand why we've capitulated like we did in the second half, because it's really disappointing, because I hadn't seen that coming for a period of time, and just the fact is we couldn't keep hold of the ball was the main thing, and as I said, we've given a poor second goal away with people not doing their jobs properly, and that disappoints me from that side of it.
4 years ago we went into Christmas in 21st place. Fortunately you came in February and we got out of trouble on the final day of the season. This season we went into Christmas 21st place. Things were looking up, but now 1 point in 3 games and we've slipped back into the relegation places today.
Yeah, and as I said, there's going to be lots of twists and turns between now and the end of the season, so one result like today doesn't make the season, so we have to pick ourselves up. We have to go again next week at Eastbourne. And then we've got Maidstone here, so the games are going to come thick and fast, and there's no easy games in this league, as we've seen already. So we have to accept what's happened today. It hasn't been for me the day in terms of from where we was to where we let it slip to, and will players learn from that? And they're the things that could give me concern, is that players have to learn from what's happened today, because we can't afford that for the rest of this season. If we get on top of teams, we have to go and punish teams. And in the past, if we'd have been 2-0 up, we'd have gone and got a third and a fourth and won that. Today we haven't. We got complacent. I felt we took the foot off the pedal. I felt we become second best. We allowed them back into the game, and in the end, as I said there, we were very fortunate to come away with at least a point, which I'll take, which is grateful, but it doesn't help at this stage of the season because 3 points are massive.
How bad is David Noble's injury?
Probably need to let it settle down for the next 24, 48 hours. We're not sure if it's a twist or a knock. So we'll just see how that goes. And he's very tender at the moment and very sore. So we'll have to just let it settle down and see where he is beginning of the week.
Any other knocks today?
Yeah, Tom Bender's injured his knee, and we'll have to see where that is. Monash has got a hamstring. We'll have to see where that is. And Ollie Sprague's obviously hurt his knee early on in the second half when he came on as a sub. So again, we're carrying 3 or 4 little knocks, especially in the second half there. But as I said, I think there's no excuses. You know, we just wasn't good enough on the day.
I know you say Hungerford had nothing to play for, but you also got give them a bit of credit for the way they came back. They didn't throw in the towel, whereas they could quite easily have done because they had 5 points adrift of us. No,
and this is what I'm saying. They have nothing. You know, there's no fear in them. At the end of the day, everyone expects them to get relegated from where they are now, and this is. You know, you've got to give them full credit. You know, if they get beat, people expect them to get beat, but you know they've gone and played without fear. They've gone on the front foot. They've pushed bodies forward. They kept the ball better than us. They passed the ball better than us, and they were on the front foot better than us. They won more headers, and I think at the end of the day, they've won a big header in the box in the 90th minute, and we've got enough bodies in there. We've got enough people that can go and win a header there, and we haven't reacted to the second ball. Where their little guy, the little guy on the pitch, obviously reacted to the second ball. So, you know, we have to take that. From the fact is that we wasn't in the game, but let's look at the way we gave the ball away leading up to the corner, and Ollie Sprague puts his foot through it. It ends up in a goal kick in their area. He tries to dribble out from his own box, loses the ball, and the next thing we don't release it, and next thing we're given a corner away, and we're under more pressure. And they're all the things that you have to look at. Is people doing the jobs correctly, and if they do the jobs correctly, then we come away with a win, and we though we haven't played well, we've won 2-1, but it's also nice to play poorly sometimes and win a game of football, and we haven't done that today.
You mentioned next up, Eastbourne Borough away. They're down the bottom as well. We were looking, I think, for these 2 games, most people were looking for a minimum of 4 points. Suddenly the pressure really is back on us now.
Well, I wasn't looking for a minimum of 4 points. I think that's what you've told me for 2 games now at the moment. As I said, we'll take anything that comes along. So Eastbourne Borough have just taken 7 points out of the last 9, so they're in a good vein of form. But as I said before, you know, I think we can't be disrespectful to the league. The league is a really tough league. You've seen the team that's 18 points there, and I spoke to their manager before the game. They're in a better position this year than they was last year, and they got out of it. So, you know, we have to respect this league. It's a tough league. I've said to you from day one, this is the toughest this league's ever been. And we're not quite up to grips with what the leagues are offering us at the moment, and we've still got to improve. We've still got to bring players in that are going to be comfortable on the ball. We don't score enough goals to win games of football, and at the moment, you know, when we're put under pressure like we was today, we've started to concede goals. So we've still got loads of work to do. We've obviously just come 6 games in 18 days, which has taken its toll. You know, there's a few players feeling a bit tired out there. Maybe that was a bit of the. I don't want to use it as an excuse in the second half, but maybe we was a little bit tired in the second half. But you know, we just wasn't good enough, I didn't think, in ball retention. But again, you know, if we beat Eastbourne next week, then we've taken the 4 points in 2 games. So we'll have to see where we are. But there's a lot of games to come. There's lots of twists and turns to come. We don't know where some of the other sides are going to be. You know, I'm surprised at some of the teams that are down there with us. So you have to look at all of that. Some of the teams will put a run together, and I've said before, when you see we won Weymouth and Hemel, we went up from bottom table to 3rd from bottom or 4th from bottom. So if we can win the next couple of games, you know, we might be sitting around about mid-table, but then you lose a couple of games and you're going to be back in that bottom 3 again. So it's going to be a tough second half of the season, but we've got to keep our heads. We've got to, you know, though I'm bitterly disappointed today, and I should imagine a lot of the supporters and the crowd today must be really disappointed. We can't just throw the towel in now because of one poor second half performance. We have to be better than that, and we've got to try and pick it up for Eastbourne next week.
After a busy few weeks with the games, this week's more normal, I suppose, just training?
Well, the next couple of weeks will just be a bit of a rest period on Tuesday, really, in terms of where we are with the players, because of the 6 games in 18 days, and then we've got to find out on Tuesday where we are with the Eastbourne game, because if they beat Salisbury, then next Saturday's off. So just give the players a bit of a rest on Tuesday now, and we'll start training again on Thursday, and then see where we are with what we've got to do, whether we train next Saturday or we're playing Eastbourne next Saturday.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. So a reminder then, Saints is next due to be in action on Saturday the 11th of January, away to Eastbourne Borough at Priory Lane. But that match, as Ian says there, is dependent on an FA Trophy result, so keep an eye on the website. Otherwise we'll see you down at Priory Lane on Saturday the 11th of February. No, it won't, January.